Lots of foot traffic in downtown Scottsbluff this week for the annual sidewalk sales. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the Downtown Scottsbluff Association's annual sidewalk sales are in full swing. On Thursday, a number of businesses up and down Broadway were participating in the annual festivities. In the 1800 block, Scottsbluff Screen Printing had a wide variety of sports apparel set up outside their storefront with some great deals. Further south was geared to the local fashionistas as Studio B, Marketplace Boutique, and JENN's Boutique, as well as Compliments, all had a lovely selection of clothing items displayed. The sidewalk sales will continue both today and Saturday and offers a great chance for you to explore the wide offerings our downtown merchants have. One new addition to this year's sidewalk sales was Element Sports Summit and Event Center. Owner Deidre Bruner says that the center will feature courts for basketball, volleyball, pickleball, and will host sports leagues for community use. Ground will break just east of the former SWBC building in the coming weeks, but they are also kicking off their capital campaign.
That's actually why we're here for sidewalk sales. We are kicking off our capital campaign, which we are calling the Expedition to the Peak. Basically climbing the mountain, climbing this summit, which is part of the name, Element Sports Summit. So we're tying that all into, so we have this mountain of finances that we're needing to, you're looking at a multi-million-dollar building, and that's hard for one person to do, and I don't want to do it myself. I want it to be a community thing. I want it to be a county thing. I want it to be even an entire state thing. So just want to bring some attention to Scottsbluff and what we can offer here.
She tells KNEB News that having a facility like this can truly help bring the community together.
I just think it's important to have things available for mainly the youth and the younger, keeping the kids around as people go off and graduate and go get their degrees. It's a point to bring them back and to keep Scottsbluff going. And it's just my way of giving back to the community that helped me when I was in need. So I appreciate everything that the community has done and how they've supported us already, what they're doing and what they've done, what they're doing, and what they're going to do. Because for this to happen, it will take a community effort.
Bruner will be set up at 1605 Broadway for the sidewalk sales both today and Saturday, selling root beer floats for $5 while raising funds for the new facility. And supporters of the effort to repeal the measure providing up to $10 million in state funding for private or parochial school scholarships say they have gathered enough signatures to put the issue before voters in November. Support Our Schools Nebraska says it turned in more than 86,000 signatures to the Secretary of State to place the LB 1402 partial referendum on the general election ballot. Nebraska Catholic Conference Director Tom Vesner says the referendum undermines the fundamental rights of parents, but noted the signatures gathered are 30,000 less than a similar effort a year ago, which he calls evidence opposition to school choice is rapidly declining. Election officials will have 40 days to verify signatures once they receive petition pages for their respective counties. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Welcome back. A 65-year-old Gehring man was the apparent victim of a tragic swimming mishap a week ago at a Wyoming lake. The Platte County Sheriff's Office received a report of a male that had jumped off a boat on the east end of Grey Rocks Reservoir and never resurfaced. Search, rescue, and dive teams from across Wyoming, as well as the Scottsbluff County dive team and a team with drag sonar, were part of the search effort, which was suspended late Monday. Authorities say due to the area where the male went under, it's possible he slipped under a cavern or into an underwater cave and was unable to be located. They have withheld the man's name out of respect for the family. Well, Governor Jim Pillen was joined by state senators yesterday at the state capitol to discuss the overall thrust of the plan he says is designed to cut property taxes by about 50%. Hard caps on local spending, decreases in state spending, and elimination of more than 110 exemptions to the sales tax would be among the tools used to provide property tax relief and a net overall tax decrease of $1 billion. Pillen said the property tax crisis has been accelerating at warp speed.
1984, it took 18 years to get to $1 billion, then it took 8 years to get to $1 billion, then it took 6 years to get to the next $1 billion, then it took 5 years to get to the next $1 billion. In the first 365 days I've been your governor, our property taxes went up $300 million. Folks have said, well, why the session now? Why? Because it's a crisis. If we don't fix it, our property taxes will soon be going up $1 million a day.
Also unveiled during the news conference was an online tool property owners can use to compare how much the relief plan would save on property taxes. The special session to consider the proposals has been tentatively set to start next Thursday, but Pillen has yet to sign the required proclamation that also sets the scope of legislation to be considered.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
Well, we did have a very nice day today, starting to see some showers and storms out there. And those are going to move through the area, I think, early this evening, and then things are going to quickly calm down as we go later on into the evening. Let's take a look at that hour-by-hour forecast. By 8, 9 o'clock, everything's going to be well to our east, so any of those isolated thunderstorms going to be out of here early. And then temperatures fall down into the 60s as we have a very quiet evening coming our way. Taking a look at yesterday's temperatures, we hit 95 after a morning low of 56. A little below normal for a low and a little above normal for a high. As far as precip goes, nothing in the rain gauge yesterday. Still just about 1/4 of an inch for the month and 7 2/3 for the year, closing in on a little over 2.5 inches below normal for the year. And it's been a bit since we've had much precip. Here the month of July, we had some cool days to start, but ever since the 9th on, it has been at or above normal for temperatures, and rain has been very scarce to come by for most locations. We're going to see isolated thunderstorm chances through the weekend into early next week. Then there's some indications that conditions are going to turn drier and warmer as we start Tuesday into next week. But generally speaking, this weekend going to be fairly cool out there. As we look at winds, those are going to be non-existent here as well this evening. We do have a couple of things that we want to look at for you here in terms of severe weather threat. Definitely paying attention to portions of south central Nebraska into portions of north central Kansas. That's where the greatest risk of severe weather is. We'll zoom in a bit, show you some of our areas from mainly the eastern 2/3 of the Panhandle, that is where we're going to see the best risk of severe weather this evening. Now, that pretty much goes away tomorrow and on into Saturday, as things are going to remain dry here across the high plains. Let's take a look at temperatures right now. Not bad. 80s for the most part. Some cooler temps in north central Nebraska where there are some showers. You can see some of those showers and gusty thunderstorms out there as well. See where some of those wind gusts being picked up. Out the door forecast for your Saturday, starting the weekend off a little cooler. Yeah, those highs by afternoon only going to be in the 80s instead of in the 90s. Futurecast tonight has a couple of rounds of thunderstorms. They'll move out early this evening, then we're done. Clear skies come our way tomorrow to start the day. Late in the day tomorrow, an isolated hit or miss thunderstorm. I think a less coverage than today. And then we clear out again late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. We do it again Saturday or Sunday afternoon. Bring in a few late day showers and thunderstorms. Again, across the region, hit or miss. Not everyone's going to get them. If you do, you could end up with a decent amount of moisture out there. Lows overnight, 50s to near 60. Highs tomorrow, low to mid 80s. That's it. We'll be about that temperature again, maybe even a few degrees cooler on Sunday. Decent amounts of moisture out there. You could see if we get under some of those heavier showers and thunderstorms, half an inch to an inch or two is possible. Some of the lighter thunder showers may not even pick up enough to register. Isolated storms early. A severe storm or two is possible. Better chances to the east. Lows down around 61. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. It's going to see an isolated storm or two around. And temperatures into the 80s. And then as we take a look at that 7-day forecast, we're going to be really not bad through the weekend. Low to mid 80s through Monday. Then we start to warm up a bit Tuesday. By Wednesday through Friday of next week, we're back in the upper 90s to near 100.
Santa in the pool? Oh my! Renewal by Anderson's incredible Christmas in July 2024 event is so great that even Santa is shocked. 20% off, no money down, no interest, no payments for 18 months. No payments until 2026. Windows, patio, and entry doors from Renewal by Anderson. And Renewal's Acclaim and Ensemble lines are the best of the best. Imagine no payments until 26. Please visit rbawyoming.com now. It's Christmas in July at Renewal by Anderson. It's so good even Santa is shocked.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the Scottsbluff Body and Paint Ag Desk. Scottsbluff Body and Paint, you're driving home a reputation.
It's time for Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
This stem is all that's left for soybeans out here in central Nebraska following a weekend hailstorm. Area producer Dan Christensen is joining us second time here for the 2024 growing season for In the Field updates. Dan, we look back to April, a lot of optimism going into the growing season. We visited with you, and here we are, early July. You had 3 waves of hail come through on the same day. Bring me back to last Saturday when all this took place.
Yeah, the hail came through pretty bad on the last storm, I guess, but we had a wave come in, went to the basement, a wave came in, went to the basement again, and the wind was not as bad the first storm or the hail, but this out here, this all happened in about 45 minutes. It was just crazy. And it probably was a narrow band, but it lasted a while, so it wasn't good.
It's hard to describe. Absolutely pummeled is the word I'm using at the moment to describe these corn and soybean fields. But how wide of a swath is the damage we're seeing like this here in your soybean field?
So like this stuff is the worst. I'm going to say that was probably 4 miles wide. Probably started over north of Holdridge all the way to, it probably honestly went to Hastings for all I know. That's the worst part of it, but the hail in general was just awful. Hail and wind, green snap, that's really widespread, county-wise. Yeah.
What size hail fell?
I don't know.
You were in the basement.
You were in the basement, but I've seen pictures of baseball, softball, that or even towards the west here, just a lot of little hail, but a lot. Sightings were covered with it, and and everything. It just was, depended where you were at, but it was anywhere from baseball, softball size. So.
As you mentioned, this soybean field we're in right now, probably one of the worst in terms of damage, but what percent of your crops got hit by this hailstorm, and how did the damage range?
Yeah, this is the worst for sure. I probably have 2 or 3 bean fields that look like this. I would say 20% is probably gone. Now, next week when we have the adjusters come out, I'm going to say that a lot of it won't even pollinate. We were just right towards tassel, so it definitely will have a long-term effect on putting on an ear and everything. So
with the crops that you're thinking at the moment are going to zero out, what do you do next?
Yeah, so like on this field, we're going to probably till it under just to make it flat, do some feed for the feedlots around, kind of get into a contract with them because they also got hit as well. And other than that, I mean, on my dry land stuff, I'll just summer fallow probably, and maybe put in wheat later. It's been a lot of planning. It's more work than what it should be.
Yeah. Looking at it seems like it was a broad swath. Looking at estimates online, several 100,000 acres with this range of hail in central Nebraska area. Just emotionally in the region, I'm sure this has to take a toll with a lot of area producers.
Yeah, I mean, just planning on what we're gonna do next. I think this is my 11th or 12th year farming, and I've never even thought about what it's like to get hailed out. But the planning of, all right, we gotta get some feed lined up, get some seed. We're buying seed in early part of July. I never thought I'd be doing that. It's a lot more work than what a guy thought it would be. But it's also with reflecting back to the prices. It's kind of adding up some APHs and everything, and that spring price isn't the best, but it's a lot better than what the price is now. I think it might be a blessing on some of this stuff for me, just on the cost per acre and getting that APH. I do 120 insurance, and it's probably a better price than what I have growing. So if I was to sell it at the co-op, so.
Eternal optimist, have to have that in farming.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's quickly talk about maybe the other 80% of your crops not decimated by the hail with the weekend storm. How are they looking right now?
Oh, really good. The stuff that hasn't got hit, I have some seed corn that looks really good. We have some corn there's some corn that before this storm, I mean, all these fields look some of the best we've ever seen. So whatever hasn't gotten touched, I think will be a really good year. The optimism is obviously hopefully get as many bushels as we can. But yet again, I don't think Mother Nature's done after this. So we'll just see how it goes. But everything looks really, really good that hasn't gotten touched.
Fridays in the Field is brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. We'll see you next Friday.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Pet waste and water don't mix. Animal waste decomposes in water, releasing nutrients, which deplete the oxygen fish and other life need to survive and encourage harmful algae growth. Animal waste also has disease-carrying bacteria, making contaminated water unusable. It's easy to prevent pet waste pollution. Simply pick up your pet's waste and dispose of it in a trash can, and avoid letting your pets defecate within 200 feet of our community's waterways. Tri-City Stormwater reminds you it's our water, our responsibility.
And finally, tonight, this week, Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers reached 4 new settlements in his successful statewide litigation campaign against shops selling dangerous synthetic THC products. One of those settlements is with Zyglam, which operates 2 stores in Scottsbluff. Hilgers says Zyglam, along with stores in Chadron, North Platte, and Ogallala, were selling synthetic THC products that were mislabeled and harmful to Nebraskans, including children. Future violations of this settlement by Zyglam would result in a $60,000 payment for the first breach, $120,000 for a second breach, and a loss of all gross revenues for any subsequent breach. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday.